amazing viewers. Thank you so much for joining me on my program once again. I appreciate you wherever you are connecting from. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please kindly subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell so that you'll be notified each time I upload a video. You will be among the first to receive it. Thank you so much and remain blessed.
You know, Honorable TJ, I kind of share the fears which you put forward. Do you see the non-zoning, the fact that both major political parties have thrown open their tickets? Right now, in your party, a northern candidate has it, even though he's promised to unify. In fact, one of the biggest points which he continues to throw out there is that he intends to unify the country. Senator Abba Aji has made reference to how the Southwest needs to come together. But the Southwest, when they produced the presidential candidate, never really supported the presidential candidate that was produced. I mean, former President Olusegun Obasanjo did not get the votes of the Southwest to become president. Do you fear that if we have a northern candidate on the part of the PDP and a southern candidate on the part of the APC, do you think it puts our unity in danger, given what just happened within your own political party?
No, but just raise some flag more. It will raise some flag more. And I really want to correct some impression. Nobody, no region can go it alone. President Buhari had so-called 12, 13 million votes for how many elections? Until there was a handshake to the south, he never won. No region can go it alone. We must come to this reality. You need the buy-in of the other region to become president of Nigeria. No matter how popular you are, no matter how strong you are in your base, I use President Buhari 11, 12, 13 million consistently for 3 elections. He never emerged. So with that background, we must understand that yes, these things will raise certain flag. And that's my fear, that at this time of our nationhood, we should not be overemphasizing this thing. It should not be the major reason or determinant of who emerges as president.
It is true, but given as campaign goes, I mean, yes, you have made the point that no region can go it alone, but we've seen just how an entire region felt alienated as a result of how the 2015 elections went, and we're still yet to recover from that. In fact, part of the agitations that we're facing in the 2023 elections is that the presidency should come from that region. That said, you know how dirty political campaigns get and how base they can get. When push comes to shove between the APC and the PDP, yes, there are many other candidates that are coming up on other political parties, but these two parties, given their antecedents, do you fear that it could portend danger for our unity?
It's the responsibility of the leaders, their utterances, the dominion that will determine if we go to the edge. That region that felt marginalized you're talking about, I lay the blame at the doorstep from President Buhari. When he emerged, there are certain things he said at the beginning that further fueled that position. When he went to the US, there was no basis to do 95% analysis. So those things stuck with those people, and it became difficult to be able to get out of it. So our leaders must understand that once you get to this level, there are no flippant words. Anything you say, because there are a lot of emotions attached to it. So the leaders of the two political parties must understand the fact that we must have a nation first before you can become president. So that our utterances, our position will determine that it is possible we go into flame. It is possible we're able to calm our nerves and have a nation we can begin to build together.
Senator Abba Aji, what are your thoughts on that? Have you thought it through, especially now that both candidates? We don't know how the APC is going to swing with this, but given the fact that it's also thrown its ticket open, and you have contenders from every region, do you fear that this unity could truly become very fragile post 2023?
Well, you see, we are a very demographically diverse country, and what ensures our democracy is not just the provisions of the Constitution, but it is the acknowledgement of this diversity. and the mutual suspicion of each other that we have, going back to what the Honorable has pointed out about what President Buhari had said in America, President Buhari simply said, yes, those who voted for me will get more. Yeah. When you seek and secure votes and get elected, you have engaged in a social contract. You have made promises, and based on these promises, the voters elected you. So there's a social contract between you. And this social contract is more morally enforceable in areas where you are, elected, and you've met the requirements, the constitutional requirements of being elected. So I don't see anything wrong with the statements that President Buhari has made. And back to the Southeast again, the Southeast has engaged itself in just demanding presidency. You don't get presidency by demanding for it. You get it by negotiating, by engaging. If you remember, Abiola, SDP presidential candidate, defeated the NRC in Kano State, his own home state. How? Because of the level of engagement that Abiola had with the Kano electorates. He didn't just sit back and say, I demand that you give me. I feel that I'm excluded. And the Southeast has to change its tactics. It has to play ball. It has to appeal to people. You don't just be engaged in hate statements and demands. That's very childish,
I think we have an opportunity here, and I think what's quite instructive is that, the utterances of political leaders and leaders generally would go a long way in either tipping us over or ensuring that we're stronger as a nation. You, for example, by the way, today the screening continues, and your candidates will be screened today. Yeah. The Senate president will be screened. Now, what I find interesting is you are from the Northeast, where the Senate president is from, just a neighboring Yobe state. You are from Borno State. Now, the vice president is from Southeast, and you from the Northeast. Southwest, rather. Forgive me, there's been so much Southeast, I said Southeast. And you are supporting a candidate that is from the Southwest. You're not even, in quote, supporting a candidate from your region. So I find the dynamics quite interesting. So why go for a candidate from the Southwest rather than support a candidate from your region? And I think it's an important point to perhaps make to push this conversation of unity forward.
It's not about me alone, you see. There is the majority of us in the North think that there's something called fairness, And this fairness is an ingredient which, if you allow to escape from the political equation, you will not even have peace in Nigeria. Equity and fairness demand that you do this thing turn by turn. We are about to complete 8 years of a northern presidency. So it is a moral requirement that it goes to the south. And the majority of us, not just me, believe that this is the way to go about it. So we believe that this time, anybody who goes and purchases the form, and yes, some of them did, and one of them from my own region, sub-region, but you see, just because he has bought it doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it right at all. What is right is to allow the presidency, after spending 8 years in the North, to go and spend 8 years in the South. Then when you look at the South, then you look at also your chances, because you mentioned earlier that Atiku Abubakar is not a pushover. I agree with you. So who do you take from the South? You have to take somebody that can defeat, hands down, the PDP candidate. And to do that, you need your best. And the best now is Professor Emerson.
I can't help but notice Honorable TJ smiling, but just quickly follow up on that one. Will your candidate be willing to go the consensus way, saying, you know what, we have thought about this and we maybe think you should go your way or otherwise? Is he open to all options?
Professor Emerson is a team player. He's a team player, and he's a man of God. He's very God-fearing, and he believes that power belongs to God, and he gives it to whoever. So he is quite willing to play in this consensus building, and indeed he's even part of it. You know, we have only one presidency,
right,
and he's the vice president, so he is part of the consensus building, certainly.
Honorable TJ Yusuf, there are questions as to who will be the vice presidential, the running mate for Mr. Atiku. There have been a couple of names. In fact, the name of Governor Wike came out yesterday, and I wonder, what is it thinking within the party in terms of the person, the pedigree, the temperament, and all that, such that you can capture as much votes? Because you said you can't do it alone, so you need at least the votes of other areas. So what is it thinking now currently in the party?
I think the process has begun. Leaders are meeting. There are a lot of names being branded around. But more importantly, there's who is adding value to the ticket. What are you bringing to the table in terms of vote, in terms of experience, resources, and what have you? That will determine. The party has a lot of very, very sound and qualified men who could feel that. But I want to delve into something that the Senator said about the vote of Southwest and the what have you. I'm a student of politics, and I've checked. The Southwest has never produced good vote in presidential election. Go and check the records.
Did they not produce what?
Good vote in presidential election.
Why do you mean good? What do you mean?
When I mean good vote, there's always contestation in Southwest, so much so that what you get the difference between the political parties in Southwest has been 2%, 3%, and what have you. And the volume of vote compared to government election is always lower in presidential election.
But some people will say that there is a reason why the Southwest is regarded as politically sophisticated.
So that is why
yes,
they cannot put that kind of volume of votes. That's what I'm trying to put that. I've gone and checked the last 6 elections. Southwest has never. In fact, South produced more vote than Southwest. So as per the number of voters in Southwest is higher than South. But turnout to election. So go and check, sir. Yeah. So now, go and check.
I have the numbers.
Not for the APC, you said?
Not for the APC. South APC presidential votes were less than 500,000.
Yeah.
You know, the Southeast was just 1 million. Okay. But the Southwest is almost 3 million. So, you know, the numbers are very important.
Compared to what
if you add the Southeast and the South. And multiply by 2, still is less than what Southwest gave to APC.
Yeah. But what I'm trying to say is check the volume.
Well, I thought you were talking. I didn't realize he was referring to volume. I thought he was talking more about the margin.
No, he was talking about the margin.
I talk about the margin too. I talk about the margin. I talk about the volume.
And
the margin is always between 3-4%. There has never been a time in the South, apart from the UPN time. There's never been a time in Southwest to get anybody winning Southwest.
That's a party having a landslide compared to the other party.
No, it's about 2-3-4%.
But that is a pattern that is emerging, because some people will say that as our processes become more transparent, we should be seeing a stronger contestation, you know, amongst the parties. No longer the reign of the godfathers or you know, or vote manipulation, etc.
I'm saying this, I mean, to kind of, correct an impression that you have a bubble. When people say we'll have votes here, they go Kano, that puts 2 million for one aspirant and 80,000 for the other. You know, that's unimaginable anywhere in Nigeria. That's what I'm trying to correct. So, do
you even think it is imaginable in this 2023 elections? I mean, given what we're already seeing happening in Kano, with the emergence of the NNPP.
Kano is presently, naturally, Kano has always been like that. I grew up in Kano a bit. Kano is, to me, the radical center of the north. You cannot cage Kano unnecessarily. You find yourself in trouble. So ANPP is a strong, very, very strong party in Kano right now. So the election might be a 3-horse race or a 2-horse race. It might be APC, ANPP. PDP might be the weaker This thing, I'm in PDP.
It's interesting you say that anyway.
Yeah, as it is today, Ricardo. So I am just trying to emphasize this fact that as a nation, we must come to terms with reality. No nation come to that level of development and stability going the way we are going. We must deliberately change our approach if we want to get a different result.
Well, gentlemen, I think it's a fine place to leave it. It's been quite an interesting conversation, politics-wise, and even talking about the unity of Nigeria. I would like to thank you so much, Senator Mohammed Abaji, who's Professor Yemi Oshibaju's Northeast Campaign Coordinator. He's also been a former Executive Secretary, Northeast Governors Forum, as well as other caps he's worn, as well as Honorable Tajuddin Yusuf, a member of the PDP. I'm not prophesying, am I? A member of the PDP.
Okay, that's the wrong prophecy.
And current member of the National Assembly is vying for a Senate seat. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for your time.
Thank you, sir.
I thought you said the handshake. You don't see that often. Well, that's it on this segment of the program. But we're back with another side to this conversation. Remember the talk about the third force? It actually concerns the PDP and the APC as well, but in another party. So please stay with us.
Thank you so much for your patience to watch from the beginning to the end. I hope you have learned something from the video you have just watched. The video you have just watched is to bring information to your doorstep and for educational purpose. It is not to demonize anybody. Let us watch continuously and see who can be able to make a sense out of every nonsense we are seeing. We must continue. We move. It doesn't matter what they do. It doesn't matter what they say. They will kill us. We'll kill them. At the end of the day, Biafra is here. Thank you for watching. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please kindly subscribe to the channel. Click the notification bell so that you're notified each time I upload a video. You will be among the first to receive it. Thank you and remain blessed. Bye-bye. See you again.